Get ready to talk about how we can manifest lives we truly love, even when that means going through hard times like losing your job.
For generations, women were shamed for trusting themselves, sensing things before they happen, and believing in their own power. No one encouraged them to embrace it until now. Welcome to Trust Yourself.
Are you feeling chuffed yet? I am. Heidi is. And you will find out why and actually what chuffed actually means if you're not from the UK.
Yeah, because it's not what I thought.
So today, we are so privileged to welcome the beautiful and inspiring Victoria Jackson to our podcast. Yes. Victoria is a certified mindset coach and EFT practitioner and the talented author behind the empowering books Manifesting for Beginners and How to Manifest Anything, and actually a third book in the works. But most importantly, in my opinion, she is a beacon for women everywhere.
She just radiates authenticity. She helps you feel like you can do anything.
Yes. In 2018, Victoria found herself suddenly made redundant from her role as a fashion magazine editor. But rather than letting this moment break her, she trusted her intuition and she took a courageous leap, founding the Manifestation Collective, which is a beautiful, supportive, and uplifting community that's dedicated to blending practical manifestation strategies with magnetic personal transformation. So today, Victoria is graciously inviting us into the heart of her remarkable journey and navigating that profound shift from corporate security into the unknown waters of entrepreneurship. And she'll share invaluable insights that she has gathered over the years of coaching hundreds of women. And we'll discover not just the power of intentional manifestation, but the strength it takes to truly follow one's inner voice. It's obviously not easy, which is why we have a whole podcast dedicated to it.
Trust yourself.
If you've ever wondered how to find courage in uncertainty, how to trust your gut when logic whispers doubt, or how to authentically manifest a life you truly desire, this conversation was meant for you. Get comfy, grab some tea, or Vicky's favorite, your hot cocoa, and get ready for an episode full of wisdom and warmth and powerful revelations. Welcome, Victoria. We are absolutely thrilled to have you with us today. And I'll admit, I am fangirling so hard right now. So if I sound extra squeaky today, that's why.
And a little bit. Honestly, when you guys asked me, I was like, I am honored to be on here because from the moment I've listened to your podcast, I love it. I love the energy behind it. We're very similar in our mindset. So yeah, really excited for the conversation.
Oh, thank you so much.
Fangirling hard.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, and Heidi and I have been longtime listeners of your podcast, The Manifestation Collective, and now proud members of the Manifestation Collective, which really is a beautiful, uplifting community. And it's really been a beacon for us on our own journey. I love that. Even like a few years ago, you've been a source of inspiration for us as we've stepped into this world of manifestation. In fact, Heidi also credits you with helping her manifest her cross-country move and her dream home. But now you're inspiring us in even deeper ways as a woman who boldly pivoted into a soul-led career path. I think you're truly a trailblazer, Victoria, and we'd love to hear all about that journey today, if that's okay, and how you made the leap, how you manifested this incredible life you have now, but also like what it looked like at the beginning, because that's where we are now.
Help us.
Please. So maybe take us back to 2018, the day you were made redundant at your career as a fashion magazine editor. Did you have a sense even then that like this was the beginning of something entirely new or that you wanted to step into this world of manifestation?
Yeah, so I discovered like the concept of manifestation in 2015. So that was kind of, I was working as the editor of a men's fashion magazine, and I always say like on paper or on social media, it looked amazing. Okay, so you were traveling to all of these different countries, like twice a year, going to Florence and Berlin and New York and Hong Kong and, all of these amazing places. But the reality was that I was constantly at the doctors for chronic stress symptoms, crying on the way to work, just feeling deeply unfulfilled, but trying to keep up this pretense on social media that we often do, that everything's fine and, I'm living this dream life. And I felt like I had tried to work for this position for so many years that I should, and I'm doing bunny ears for people who can't see me on video, but that I should be grateful to be in this position. Like I should be happy. And I discovered something, called manifestation after reading The Secret. And it took me 3 goes because I'll be honest, I was quite cynical. I didn't believe that you could, change your life by changing your thoughts. It was just not a concept that I was familiar with, or even that I was going to be open to accepting at that point in life. I was very much in a victim mindset, and I'm quite open in saying that now. It was all very, why me? Why is this happening to me? And anyway, I decided to let's just do an experiment. Let's just see if anything will change. And I was quite despondent. And anyway, I started to do small experiments. And, the first manifestation, I said, okay, universe, if this is real, send me a pink feather. And 2 days later, I got an envelope sent through the post, just a letter. And as I pulled the letter out, a pink feather fell out and landed on my desk.
Oh my
I love that.
I was like, okay, I'm still cynical. I think it could be a coincidence. And I started to ask for parking spaces and, just small amounts of money. And then within a matter of years, it just started to become like my life. But I wasn't teaching it at that point. It was just literally a hobby, something that I was integrated into life. And then on Sunday, the 18th of March, I always remember the day, I sat down in 2018 and I said, universe, give me a sign here. Am I meant to do something bigger with life? Am I meant to be somewhere else? And I visualized myself and I was facing the ocean and I was typing away at the laptop. And I can't tell you what I was typing. I just knew that I was typing, but I knew that money was flowing into my bank account. I was tapping into the energy of this ultimate freedom. So I wasn't having to ask for time off for work for it to be denied. Yes. I wasn't having to, answer to anybody else. And I just was really tapping into this innate freedom that I could feel. And the very next day, I went into work and I told all the girls on my pod, I'm really happy that I told them or else they wouldn't have believed me. But I said, I'm just going to let you know, girls, that last night I fully manifested, like I was asking the universe for a sign. I just know that I'm going to get out of here. And that very same day, we were all called into the office and the magazines were closed down out of the blue and we were all made redundant. And it was such a big shock. And obviously, everybody was like really upset. And I was sat there thinking, oh my God, I've manifested this for everybody. I lost the job. Everybody has gone on to something bigger, better, much more aligned, so much happier in their life. And I truly believe that was meant to happen. So that was the starting point. And at that point, I wasn't, I was working free. I was kind of doing some freelance stuff within interior design. I've always kind of led quite a creative life, but I didn't have anything to do with manifestation at that point. And I literally, all it started was I started a Facebook group and I called it the Manifestation Collective. And I just said to some friends on Twitter, look, I've got this little private space. Does anybody want to come and chat about like their goals or manifestation? And I think about 24 people joined, but within the space of a year, it grew to about 4,000 people.
Oh my
And then I started
gosh.
to have people asking me if I would ever coach them like privately. And I didn't feel confident in doing that. So I went away, got a certification, and became an EFT practitioner and really strengthened all my skills, etc. And then it kind of, I didn't even build a website until 2020. And I think a lot of people think that I've had this business for so long, but it started in such a natural, organic way. That's why I believe that it was meant, I was meant to do it. It was meant for me. And then here we are later. I'm currently writing my 3rd book. We've got the podcast. I've got, a product, which is a card deck. It's grown into this whole entire business that was never I say never meant to be. It was meant to be in the stars, but it was never in my thought process. So just a clear reminder that we don't know what the universe has got in store for us, right?
Absolutely.
That's incredible. I can't believe that happened the next day. But you
the next day. It's like the best story I get to tell people.
Great.
Because I was like, it was like, the universe didn't just say like, here's a gentle nudge. She was like, get out the door and make this happen. And I said to myself, okay, I'll give it 6 months. I'll give it 6 months. And if it doesn't work out, I'll go find another job. And I think that's what my whole belief process has been, in terms of my intuition. I think self-trust is the thing that we often override because, it might not work out in the traditional sense, but you have to have that self-trust to believe that you are resilient enough to overcome anything. And you will do what you need to do to get back on the path that you want to go. Even if there are some slight detours, even if you take a little part-time job or, something comes up, you always have to lean into that resilience that you've got.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's honestly what Heidi and I are working on right now too, because it is scary. We do have to trust ourselves and know that it's going to be okay. Let's just get through this month and see what happens. But we don't know what it will look like, but we know that this feels right now.
Yeah. And it will often look, I'm just going to speak from experience, but it often looks so much better than you could ever have imagined. Like truly,
every
girls,
time.
Yeah, genuinely. And you look back and you think, God, I was trying to visualize this moment. And, when I think about that visualization of me sat in front of the ocean and writing, and then, I found myself in places like, I remember I'd booked a rooftop apartment in New York and I was sat writing there, and I'd taken myself off to the Caribbean and I was writing there. And I was like, I could never have visualized that this is my life. Like younger Vicky is thinking, wow. But all of those trials and tribulations that have been on that path have led me to this place, all of the lessons that I needed to learn.
Yeah, you did it, girl. You did it. That's so incredible.
You didn't just do it though. You just like crushed it. Like it was, and that's what I mean, exactly what you said. Our brain can't even comprehend because there are so many possibilities out there that we don't even know exist. So how can we even visualize something? So I love how you always say like, it's this or better. And I say that all the time now and with anything. And so even when I think like, oh, but I really wanted that thing. And if you don't get it, I just remind myself, well, it was either that or better. So something even better is coming.
100%. When I think about the book deal, I wrote in 2017, I put a Facebook status out and I said, just to let everybody know that I'm manifesting a book deal. And at that point, I was still kind of writing about, what I used to write about was how to decorate your rental property. Like I was really into interior styling and interior design. And I had this blog called Apartment Number 4. And at that time, I genuinely believed that I would write a book telling people how to decorate the rental property. And then somebody came out with the exact same idea that I had. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just release this and I'm going to trust that the universe is going to deliver my book deal with however it's meant to be. And then in 2021, I was offered a book deal to write about manifestation for beginners. And my same publishers are the same publishers as the girl who brought out the book, How to Decorate Your Rental Property. So we had the same publishers. And I was like, these are things that you could never even have imagined. I didn't even know what, I could never even thought about writing about manifestation when I wanted to write a book. And the universe knew. The universe was like, just wait. Yeah. We're going to just have to go on a little bit of a journey first, but it's going to come to you. And that's why, we have to just believe in divine timing.
And trusting your intuition and following it.
100%.
I remember reading an article of an interview. You were interviewed by Canvas Rebel, and they asked you about your success, and you attribute it to following your intuition. So what does that look like or feel like to you? How do you trust this, especially like with the new business?
Throughout the business, I have always followed the excitement that I felt. And so, for example, if I get an idea, I always receive kind of downloads from the universe, whether I'm in the shower or I'm driving. Like those are the two magnetic points for me, right?
I love it. I get them in the shower and I feel like Sissy gets them when she's driving.
Yes.
Just I think because your mind is somewhere, your mind is just free to be you're just in the moment, right? And then these downloads are delivered. And I think to myself, right, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip my toes in the water, because I think what a lot of people expect is it has to be an instant success, online kind of the social media landscape and the way that we're made to feel sometimes online is that if you have an idea, it has to come to fruition. You have to have a huge success and it has to be, a sellout. And I don't kind of vibe with that energy. I step into it with, do you know what? All I'm going to do is give myself the grace to test the waters because it feels good. It feels exciting. If it doesn't work, I can take something away from it. There's always some data or some lesson or something that I can take away. I used to do retreats, which would be like a 4-day retreat. And honestly, girls, the energy that it took out of me to be in that space for 4 days and holding space for so many, it was like 11 women. And I loved it. And it's such a beautiful thing to do. But when I came home, I realized that I was having to take like a week after just to get my energy back to normal. And I was like, this isn't serving anybody if I'm doing this. So I had to look at the business and just say, do you know what? Maybe day retreats are better suited for my energy. And again, because I'm feeling like that and I'm trusting that I feel like that, I think that other people will want to experience that too. And so I launched these future self-transformation days and the last one sold out in like 7 minutes. I've never had anything like that in my entire life. So that was a sign for me that the intuition was right, like the universe was right to deliver that. I follow my own nudges, believing that other people are out there looking for the nudge that I've been sent. I
really loved the, you had an episode recently, I think it was episode 107, but it was talking about how you kind of just asked other people, how do you romanticize your life? What do you do? What are some of the things? And the one of somebody who said that they take a shower in the dark and pretend that they're a fairy, like in a midnight storm. I did that last night. I literally was like, I'm going to turn all the lights off. It was so great. And that's when I had another download too. So it's like just turning everyday things into magical moments. It's just really cool. I love it.
100%. But how often do we kind of drown out? We're so busy with the running of day to day, family and business and everything that we've got to do that we don't really give ourselves the chance for intuition to come forward. We don't really give ourselves the chance for those downloads to come through. And I said to myself, when I started the business, I was always going to carve time for the universe to speak to me. And that would be in meditation. It could be, through just taking a shower, like you're saying, just allowing that space. Or I love just going for a long drive in silence. Or just walk in silence with nothing to distract me. And I think that so many of us now, we seek out that distraction. And I think that we need to come back home to ourselves and be comfortable in the silence.
Yeah, I need to take more showers. I mean, in general would be great, but
it's hard. It's hard some days.
I do need to carve out more time. I mean, I got like 3 little kids that take up every second of my time, but I can set that aside if I communicate with my husband, of course, and actually take it. But I also love when you're talking about how everybody kind of expects everything to happen so quickly. When I was an architect, we called this the HGTV effect. Like everyone watches HGTV and thinks, oh, I'm going to have my house built in 20 minutes because it's so fast.
60-minute makeover.
Yeah, it is. And they're like, oh, this is just so simple. Why aren't you done drawing yet? Come on. But I think that's the same thing with like either starting a business or trusting your intuition. You just expect things to happen right away. And we kind of forget about there is divine timing and sometimes patience is needed.
Yeah, I feel like that happens with manifesting too. You're like, I manifested it yesterday. Why isn't it here?
Yes. And, I did a podcast episode on this, but I think it was a podcast episode, or I might have done on Instagram about it, but it's sometimes things don't arrive because you're not the version of you that is ready to hold it, right? So if my book deal had been delivered in 2017, I absolutely was not the writer that I am now to be able to even hold that magic of writing a book. So if your manifestations are taking a little bit of time and it's not that what is it? I say that a delayed wish isn't like a denied wish. Like it's just sometimes we've got to hold that space for it, and you've got to know how to embody the version of you who not only has it but keeps it. Because even when you think about manifesting money, you'll often see people who say, well, I manifested money, but then it went, it disappeared as quickly as it came. And I'm like, but are you the version of you that is that has a nervous system that can hold this kind of money, that can welcome it again and again and again? Or are you the sort of person that thinks, oops, that was a fluke, it's going to go in a second, like it's going to disappear out my bank account in 5 minutes? So that's the kind of, you have to step into that energy.
And that's why I love the Manifestation Collective and all the EFT tapping and everything that helps kind of clear those limiting beliefs. It's super helpful. I will say our new, we just had, I put together little packs that people can download. And the way I was able to do that was listening to your productivity subliminals, because I keep procrastinating things, but I put on this productivity subliminal that you have, and I just like get shit done. And it's lovely. I love those.
These magic in subliminals, girls, honestly, I really count them as part of something that like radically changed my life. It was probably in like March of last year that I went through a radical life transformation, and it really I'd reached a point in life where it really highlighted like just how low my self-worth was at that point in life. And I really started to tap in, and it was like a catalyst of the universe saying, now you need to do something big. Like now is the time to change. And I went under this huge life transformation. I started like dating myself. I cut off I cut off guys. I started to date myself and really built this beautiful like relationship with myself. And I released a lot of weight, and I just released a lot of things that were heavy on my shoulders for a long time. And subliminals were such an integral part of that, because it's something that I can habit stack. You know, sometimes I find it difficult to fit things into a schedule or a ritual. So I love to be brushing my teeth and listening to a subliminal, you know, putting my makeup on and listening to a subliminal, because it's reprogramming your mind whilst you're doing something else that you absolutely need to get done through the day.
I love that. I also absolutely love your whole progress throughout these last couple of years. I mean, we've been listening along, and just not only do you just glow and radiate differently now, you even talk differently. Like you're so proud of yourself, and I love it. I love seeing your transformation. And when you were talking about dating yourself, I was like, damn it, I'm so mad I'm married right now. I kind of want to just go back and date myself, but I might do that anyway.
Oh, I did it. You should have done it too. I was doing it all last summer with Vicky. I was like, all right, I'm going to date myself. I took myself to dinner at a ramen place. It was delicious. And I was like journaling while I was there. And then afterwards, I was like, I don't have to go home right away. So I sat outside and I journaled like downtown.
I love that. Yeah. Honestly, even if someone is married, if they're, you know, in a partnership, whatever that might be, I always say it's so nice to just go date yourself. And I did things that pushed me out of my comfort zone. I think the biggest thing that I did was to go for dinner on a Saturday night in town. And I think any other day of the week, you can kind of get away with it, you know, feeling like, well, I could be on business, or, you know, like nobody's really looking. But I went to a restaurant that was full of couples and full of families. And I sat there and read my book, and the waitress just came up and she was like, I love that you're doing this. Like, I love that you've got, and I went to like an orchestra. It was a orchestra quartet by candlelight afterwards. And I was like, this has been such a fun day with me, myself, and I.
Yes. I remember that episode, and I was like, damn, I got to look up where to do this candlelight orchestra. That looks so fun. And also it made me like so happy for you. I'm like, you go, Vicky, and piss off that French guy that was dating you. I wanted to.
It's so fun. I'm funnily enough, I'm just writing about that today in the book. And that was about like that was kind of like the catalyst, but it wasn't him that was like the catalyst. It was the situation that was the nail in the coffin. And it was like the universe was like, you are not ending up in another situationship with another emotionally unavailable man. This is not what we're manifesting. So I think what people will learn about me if they listen to the podcast is I will always know how to take a lesson from something. Like, because I've lived in that victim mentality for so long, I had to make that change of, why is this happening for me? Like, how am I at root cause here? And I'm not saying that I am to blame for everything. What I mean is like, what can I take from this to feel in control? So things are not just happening to me, but they're happening for me. And I'm willing to look and say, okay, what could I have done differently here? How could I react differently? And yes, it's not black and white, and it doesn't happen in every certain, you know, situation. But I feel like it really helps me to just keep that control, and that, you know, it feels empowering.
Yeah.
You're so emotionally aware and so far ahead of where I am.
One of the biggest things that I ever did, we sometimes come across people in life that trigger us, that make us feel a certain way. And, it could be family, it could be friends. And you can't automatically cut somebody out of your life. And I'm not about that. Just cut them out, cut out that toxic negativity, because sometimes that is not possible if we're talking about parents or if we're talking about, whatever that might be. So the biggest shift that I did was to lean into empathy. And I literally would say to myself, this person has a completely different model of the world to me because of their programming, because of their belief system, because of their generational trauma, whatever's been passed down to them. They see the world very differently to me. And it helped me so much in navigating certain kind of relationships.
I am so glad you said that, because I am kind of tired of hearing people say, cut them out, just be your best self, be positive, leave the negative people away. But I am the type of person that I can't just do that. And I do feel like I've been empathetic for my entire life. But if I can be empathetic but detach myself from that, that's so much more powerful to me. And thank you so much for saying that. You just changed my life.
It's not going to be the last time she does.
I know, right? So talking about, let's see, we talked about all of those, the wonderful things that have come that you couldn't even imagine. But how about, was there anything you didn't expect that was really difficult that maybe was a setback or something you weren't expecting in that way?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me in business was really charging money for a talent that I had that I felt was passed through me. I felt like I was a channel and a little voice that would say to me, how dare you charge for something that you are channeling through, right? A lot of it stemmed from self-worth of what I believed I was worthy of. And so I used to, when I think about when I used to do my one-to-one coaching and it was like £50 for an hour's call with me. And I would sit there and I was just so thankful that I was able to run a business and make any form of profit from it. And as I started to do work on my money mindset and self-worth and self-belief, and I realized that the energetic exchange was, and the transformation that I offered people was so worth the value, the energy, because money is energy, right? The money that they wanted to transfer to me and what I was wanting to transfer to them. And when I started to look at it as an energetic transfer and me thinking, okay, I can hold, because I come from a working class background in the UK. I don't come from any form of money at all. So for me to then start building this business and to start to receive money into the business that I could never even comprehend, I had to really get my head around, okay, with this abundance that is flowing into the business, Vicky, you are then able to, in a circular economy, put it out into the economy, welcome it back in, put it out, welcome it back in. And that's the energy that I've always sat with. And again, that's intuition, where I think I'm not building this from a place of financial happiness. I'm going to build it from a place of excitement. And I know that the abundance will flow in because it's a match for that excitement. And that's what I've had to learn over the years as well.
That's big growth, because we definitely struggle with that. It's so hard to think about, what am I worth? Am I worth $5 or 500? I don't know.
It's hard.
Even artists and authors, many times they say, like, I didn't write this. It came through me. Like you said, it was channeled through me, and it's like, it came from the heavens. How can I charge for this? Whoop, here it is. But yeah, we are worthy of that. So we do need to pay our bills.
Absolutely. And the more I lived my life to the fullest and the overflowing of the cup of abundance, the more that I was able to put out and help into the world, because money is neutral, right? And money is neutral energy. You could use money to buy arms or go to war, or you can use money to build a school and educate people. Like, it's all in the hands of whoever has the money. And we need more people in this world that have the good hands to do what they need to do with the abundance.
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe our country leader over here. I don't know. I think we need a shift. We definitely need a shift.
We do. I'm telling you girls, there's something coming. I think there's an uprising. There's a collective awakening. You know, that there's something happening.
We definitely need more people like you, Vicky, to lift up this world a little bit.
No, I love that. And you, girl. Well,
okay. EFT. I am newly introduced to it because of my daughter. She's got a lot of anxiety right before bedtime. So we've been doing it before bed. But can you explain a little bit about what that is and how that helps in manifestation?
Yeah. So it was originally formed to help people with PTSD. So what it is you're tapping on certain meridian points around the body. And there are hundreds around the body, but we normally focus on like the face, the head, around the collarbone, and then to the armpit. So you are tapping, and how I lead my sessions, and people lead sessions very differently, but I will purposely, what we do is we bring up a negative emotion first of all. So for example, I would do one on moving out of lack into abundance. So we would sit there and we would feel like we'd tap on meridian points, and you're repeating the words after me. And you're bringing up this negative energy. And how I like to explain it to the girls in the membership is, imagine that we, for the first round of this negative emotion, we are letting the water come to the surface, right? It's bubbling. This is what we're really trying to get it bubbling out of the skin. And you have to sit in those emotions, and you yawn and you feel tired, and it's a full body response. And then I'll lead the girls into, because I don't believe that you can go from negative to positive. I just don't think, you can't go up the emotional guidance scale like this. So I say, okay, let's neutralize it now. Let's just at least let the bubbles flatten. So we've got some flat water here. And we start to say things like, maybe I don't need to feel like this forever. Maybe, and as you tap in around and you start to feel that energy, just kind of calm down. And then we get into the positive state of mind, and we start to program this language in that is full of self-belief and full of possibility. And I watch people when I'm doing it with them, because everybody's on camera, and just the response that people have. I see a lot of people crying. I see a lot of people yawning, and it's this energy that is coming out of your body. Like you're literally releasing this energy from your body, almost like this stagnant energy that is all around these paths that are linked by these meridian points. And I just love it. I love that you can do it at any point. Sometimes if I'm having a bit of a stressful day, like I'll finish the day with a shower and I'll literally just tap, a lot of this is around the collarbone for me. It's just because I feel linked by the collarbone there. And I'll just say, you know what, even though today's just been really hard, like I still get to love myself. Like I still get to accept myself. Like it's a beautiful tool that doesn't cost anything. You can do it in the car. You can do it wherever you are. Like I love that you do it with your daughter. And it really is this powerful moment of just coming home to yourself. And when we talk about it in terms of manifestation, the biggest reason why people's manifestation is not going to come to them is because they don't believe it's possible for them. So if you're in a lack mindset and you're like, even though every time I get some money, it just seems to flow out of my bank account again, we change that. And as we're tapping, as we get to the positive kind of section of it, it's like money is flowing out of my bank account. And every time it does, it flows back in tenfold. Like I have changed the way that money flows out of my account because I know that it comes back tenfold. It always flows back into my bank account. It always has, and it always will. And that energy, as you're tapping away, it just makes you start to believe what is possible for you.
That's so liberating. I need to start doing that.
I did do one of your live tapping sessions too. And I remember also you kind of asked like in the beginning, like to number it like 1 to 10, like how do you feel about this? And everyone would be like, oh, like 10, like I'm so anxious or I'm so nervous or whatever it was. And then towards the end, it would be down to like a 3 or a 2, or some people were like 1 or 0, but it doesn't have to get down to 0, but just seeing how it would like bring it down a bit to a more manageable, like accepting level. It was really, really fun.
I did a personalized, I worked with a client recently who was, she had debt and she was like, I want to release this debt, but I feel a lot of shame around it. I feel just a lot of embarrassment and, all these negative feelings. And we did this EFT session and it was really, really emotional. And she messaged me the other day and she was like, I've just paid off a credit card. Like, I feel amazing. I looked at it as a challenge. Like, I felt like I was thriving when I was paying this money off, rather than the old energy of, I feel guilty, I feel embarrassed, I feel shame. And all it is just changing the emotion that we link to the thing. So we can change how we think about it and how we feel.
It's another one of those really small mindset shifts that you don't think, oh, that's going to actually change anything. It's just how I think about it. But actually, it can change everything.
Everything.
I wish I knew about EFT when I was in college. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would have helped you a lot.
I wish I'd known about all of this when I was in my 20s, though. But, we know that things happen for a reason. So it all in divine timing. But my God, I would not have gone out with some of the dumbos that I went out with.
Yep, definitely.
For sure. Oh, honestly, I think intuition, manifestation, EFT, positive mindset, this should all be in schools, in public school, private schools, public schools, elementary schools. I mean,
we're not taught about the mind, right? And it's the biggest, it's the main thing that we would ever use in life. And we're not, certainly not in the UK education system. It's not even something that's touched upon. We learn about World War I, World War II, and that's kind of where you're at. And what about everything mindset related?
Well, I can't wait to create our own school someday, guys. Like, we'll call you for the curriculum.
Yeah.
Okay, so with your many years of coaching hundreds of women how to manifest, have you ever noticed any common misconceptions or maybe mistakes you see in manifesting?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that people kind of get stuck on is, one is letting go. It's the detachment. I think a lot of people struggle with the detachment because we are so ingrained to, it's a safety skill really to try and control everything around us. But we have to release the how and the when, because that's none of our business. That's for the universe to get to work on. But if you are struggling with the how and the when and the detachment, ask yourself, if this wasn't ever going to happen for me, could I still be happy with plan B? Could I still be happy with life as it is if, for whatever reason, that manifestation is not meant for me? For me, if I give a personal example, I had to sit and say, if I don't ever meet anybody, and if I don't ever manifest a soulmate, what does life still get to look good for me? And I sat there and I thought, absolutely. Like, I still get to travel all over the world. I still get to run this business. I still get to write. I still get to have the female friendships that I have that are more fulfilling than I've ever had in a relationship. And it was that looking at plan B, which allowed me to then release the grip, the tightness of the grip that I had on plan A. And now it's kind of like, I trust that the universe is going to deliver, not Idris Elba, but somebody of that like to me, my crutch. But I trust that regardless of what happens, my life still gets to be beautiful anyway. And I think that's what we have to tap into. And it is hard when it's emotionally driven and you're very emotionally connected to what it is that you are manifesting. But I think it's always coming back to, but how good does life get to be anyway? How good do I get to make life anyway? Yeah. And the second thing is, a lot of people don't tap into that kind of taking action, especially when they're brand new to manifestation. And it's, well, I've asked the universe and nothing's happened. And I'm like, but what are you, how are you meeting the universe halfway? Like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, nothing really. And I'm like, well, this is why nothing's happening, because you're not embodying the version of you that has it already. And this is something that I love to teach on, embodiment and self-concept, and how you step into future you and act as if future you would, and make decisions as them, dress as them, show up every day as them. That's when you become an energetic match for what it is that you're manifesting. But if you're down here, not taking action, not really doing anything to kind of meet the universe halfway, we're never going to get a frequency match.
Okay. My last question for you, what advice would you give to our listeners that may be going through a difficult decision right now, maybe changing careers like you did, maybe becoming redundant, and they're trying to follow their intuition and trying to manifest their best life?
I think when you're in the messy middle like that, I think it's so important to be present as much as possible. When I was first made redundant, whilst I know that I manifested it, the reality was that I lived by myself. I had to pay all my bills by myself. And it was a scary prospect, right? I knew that I had the financial buffer from the redundancy to cover me for 6 months. And that was it. And I had to keep being present with myself and actively looking for moments of gratitude, looking for moments of magic in my day, or else what would happen is I'd find myself spiraling way into the future. And I heard a quote the other day that said, "Are you suffering more in your head than you are in real life?" And I was like, that was me, right? Because I was like suffering so much up here. But in reality, I didn't need to be in that moment. And it's coming back to the present moment every time. And again, it's going back to that self-trust, that resilience, and knowing that everything that has happened up until this point, you have faced challenges throughout your life, whatever that might be. You're still here, right? You've survived every single one of your toughest days. And it's always coming back to that feeling of, I trust and I tap into this innate power that whilst sometimes it feels like I don't have it, I don't have the strength, I do. Like the strength will come when I need it.
Okay, I know I said that was the last question, but I do have one more. I'm sorry. But the question is more for you. What can our community do for you right now to help your platform?
Or even, is there something you're manifesting right now that we could help with? What is it?
For me, do you know what? I think, in terms of like for the community, I think I just love speaking to people and discovering new people. And so that everybody's welcome to come and follow me on, everything is the Manifestation Collective. So if you just type it in, I'm there in every format. But in terms of what I'm manifesting right now, I think it is just, oh my God, what I'm doing my biggest manifestation. So when I moved into this house that I'm in now, I rent, and I said to everybody when I moved in, I was like, this is my dream house. I'm going to live here forever. Like, I just love it so much. I'm going to buy this house. And I also said that it was going to be the luckiest house I've ever lived in. And I have won the postcode lottery. We have something called the postcode lottery in the UK, which is you pay like £12 a month and you put into a postcode lottery and your postcode can win a certain amount. And I have won that lottery 13 times since I've lived here.
God.
What?
And I declared that this house would be the luckiest house I've ever lived in. And anyway, my agents had rung me and I'd said, look, when it comes to my tenancy, end of tenancy, would the landlady be open to me buying it off her or anything like that? So they came back to me and said, look, in August 2026, she wants to sell to you. So if you want to buy the house, she wants to sell to you. And I was like, I knew that I would buy it. I just knew that I would. So anyway, I am in this energy now of manifesting money to get a deposit together, and it's all happening. And I just trust that I was always meant to be here. Like, I wanted to live near my niece. And as I look out of my back garden, that's their street at the bottom of my garden. So it was just sent divinely to me.
Oh, that's so amazing. Oh, I love it. I can't, 13 times.
And I always put screenshots in the group and I'm like, guys, I've won again.
Done it again. I did see that and I was like, what's a postcode lottery? But now I know.
Well, speaking of what's a postcode lottery, I have a fun little game I want to play with you, Victoria, before we leave.
For our United States listeners.
For the lovely Americans listening with us, we would love to do a speed round on British speak breakdown.
There's some things Sissy was telling me them before you came on, and I was like, what the hell does that mean? And it reminds me of when you were in New York and you were looking for plasters and you went to like CVS and you're like, where's your plasters?
What? That's a wall.
Yeah. And then once you explained it, they're like, oh, Band-Aids. And I was like,
the thing is that accent as well. So when I was at the airport one time, and I can't remember where I was flying home from. I think it was like either Vegas or San Francisco. And a woman said to me, oh, do you know what time we're meant to fly or whatever it was? And I said, 4:30. And she said, sorry, what? And I said, 4:30. And she said, I'm so sorry, I don't know what you're saying. And I said, 4:30. And she was like, okay, great now.
Oh, that's amazing. So yeah, this is a speed round of that. So I have put together a couple English terms that I think some of them are also Northern England.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're really bad, Just tell us.
We have no idea what they mean.
We just did like a Google search, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Well, the first one is actually from your podcast. You said, I'm putting my hair up in a pineapple. Heidi and I said, is that a hair clippy or is that like a high pony? What is it?
Oh my God. So is that not a worldwide?
It's not. Well, it's not here.
I love it.
So, but a pineapple is just a high bun, and sometimes little bits will spike out. So that's why we call it a pineapple.
I love it.
That's
if my
so
hair was
cute.
longer, I'd put it in a pineapple all the time.
I just love that that's not a worldwide thing, and people listening to thinking, a pineapple on her head?
Okay. What is this? I'm properly chuffed.
Oh, I'm super happy. Like, I'm so chuffed. Like, I'm
Oh my
really,
gosh.
really, really happy. I'm really excited. I'm loving you saying it.
I definitely assumed chuffed was like I'm pissed off.
I know. I was thinking something negative.
I'm so chuffed. Like, when you would say to somebody, if they have, you say, like, passed an exam or passed a driving test or something, they're real happy. And you're like, I'm so chuffed for you. Like, that's the thing that you'd say.
That's awesome.
Good to know. Not when you're pissed. Don't say that.
Just like, I'm so chuffed.
I'm so fucking chuffed.
Oh,
Ooh, good thing we clearing this up before we take a trip to the UK.
Exactly. That's why I'm doing this. All right. Pop your bits in the boot.
Oh, pop your bits in the boot. I get how this could sound weird.
Okay, so in my head, so boot is like the bot. No, wait. No,
Is it the trunk?
That's not the
Oh, it's a trunk. Okay, so it'd be like when I'm going shopping, like I'll open my trunk, there's a trunk, and I'd pop my shopping in. So you should pop your bits in the boot. So that's
okay. But the front, like the front one of the car is the bonnet, right?
That's the bonnet. Yeah.
Yeah, bonnet and boot. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, don't put your bits in the bonnet, Heidi. You put it in the boot.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Okay, I don't even know if I'm saying this one right. Fancy a cheeky Nando's?
Right. Okay. So Nando's is like a staple. It's like Portuguese chicken, but it's like a chain of restaurants. And people say like a cheeky Nando's. It's just like, let's go get a little Nando's. That's what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I want Nando's.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right. It's gone pear-shaped.
Oh, okay, so is that not something that you would say? So Heidi, this morning went pear-shaped. Like
Okay.
It absolutely went wrong.
Shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call it pear-shaped next time. And I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
A lot nicer to say than shit hit the fan.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I like that.
And it keeps you in like a happier energy. Like, I
Yeah.
love pears. So
Yeah.
So proper and so lovely in England. I love it.
yeah. Meanwhile, in America, shit hit the fan.
The fan. I'm properly chuffed. Okay.
Are there more? I want more.
Yes, there's more. There's more. Oh, this one. I love this one. I don't know what it is, but I love it. She's a bit of a Mardy cow.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if someone's Mardy, it just means like if they're a Mardy cow, they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like she's just a little bit moody. She's just been a bit of a Mardy cow. She needs to cheer up.
Oh, you say that so much nicer than me. A Mardy cow.
Yeah.
You could say, I'll swear a moody bitch. That's what it could be. But it's a Mardy cow. Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound way more friendly compared to American terms.
I love this game. This is honestly, this is the best thing I've ever done on a podcast ever.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yay. It's helpful, like, and there's a lot of like, slang and everything in different countries that I want to know. And it's fun to learn these.
I only learn it through Harry Potter. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is great.
Is snogging actually a thing?
Making
or is
out.
that a Harry Potter thing? Is snogging making out for
Snogging
sure?
is a thing, like making out with somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a thing they made up in Harry Potter. I was like,
Did you?
oh, magical people call it snogging. I love it.
They're just Brits.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, I'm skint.
Oh, I don't have any money. That's something that you will never hear me say. I tell people off to say that all the time. You're not allowed to say I'm skint around me because it's such a lack word. But yeah, I'm skint is I don't have any money.
All right, throw that one out.
Yes,
Yeah.
gone.
Don't use it.
All right, this is the last one. Bob's your uncle.
What?
Oh, so you would say Bob's your uncle, as in like, ta-da, there we go. Like it's Bob's your uncle, like that. It's just, I've never really used that term, I don't think, but they say stuff like Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. That's like a thing that you would say of like, Bob's your uncle, or...
That's amazing.
Love it, man.
But honestly, I've never thought about this when I say things on my podcast. I just assume like that pineapple, I never thought for 1 second that people would not know. Like I just thought it was like a universal term for a top bun that was a bit spiky.
We imagined it.
I mean, it makes so much sense. It really does.
Don't worry about what you say. It's so
minute.
great. It's just so funny because we're like, pineapple, that's cute. I want a pineapple.
Sissy, did you think at first you're like, is it like a pineapple clippy that she uses?
Yes.
It's like a shape of a pineapple or something.
Well, are there any terms that seem funny to you that when we say them?
Yeah, do you know what? You guys say, now I say aluminium, but what do you, aluminum?
Aluminum.
Aluminium, yeah, aluminium.
I love calling it aluminium because people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, I think that's how it's spelled. It looks like aluminium. And I like to say it with my fake British accent too. It's so good. I watched a lot of Top Gear. I like cars and, and so, they're from the UK and they say aluminium all the time. And I just think it's so cool. I like it.
But when I was asking for plasters, I had no idea of how to say to her what I meant. And she was like, I don't know what you mean by plasters. And I was like, okay, so if I cut myself, I would put something over it. And she was like, and then she had something else like, no. And then she was like, a Band-Aid? And I was like, yes, this is it. Band-Aid. I noticed when I went, and obviously I've been to America loads of times, but you guys have everything locked away in a cupboard, right? So every time I was going to CVS, I had to go find somebody to go unlock the cupboard, and then she hated me at the end because I was like, I'm so sorry, I need you again.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a CVS thing
I think that's
too.
a New York City thing because people steal shit.
That was the beginning,
Yeah, because our plasters are not behind a cabinet here.
No.
Not in Maine at all, not in Minnesota. They're like, here, take all the Band-Aids you want.
Oh, Vicky, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. It's been lovely. I am properly chuffed.
I'm properly chuffed too.
I've had the best time. Girls, we should do this every week. Honestly, it's been an absolute joy.
Yay. It's been so fun.
Yeah, thank you. So we're definitely going to have all of your information in our show notes, the links to your books and to the Manifestation Collective, so everyone can come see and join this wonderful community and see how amazing and lovely you are.
Oh, thank you so much, girls. And just keep being just the absolute lights that you are in this world. We need more women like you, just absolute lighthouses.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, my day is officially the best.
Thanks, Victoria. Oh my gosh.
That was so much fun. Oh my God, I love her.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
So my biggest takeaway was definitely when she said, sometimes you're not receiving your manifestations because you're not yet the version of you who can hold it. That's so powerful because you don't really think about it like that. Am I ready? I feel like I am, but sometimes I have to let some shit go.
Yeah. Well, and it's almost like you have this idea of what it's going to be like in your head. And maybe you still have some limiting beliefs and some other things that you need to work through that you just don't even realize too. That's why, I really loved doing the EFT, which is the emotional freedom technique tapping that she does, because it almost like releases that pent up energy that you like didn't even know existed, or the limiting beliefs you didn't even know existed. And it's funny that she mentioned her collarbone too. I think that was one of my favorite parts, is because there are times when I'm feeling very anxious and I just like naturally start like just tapping on my collarbone just to like calm myself down. And I like didn't really realize it, but
our bodies know what we need.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it just helps my chest feel a little less tight and anxious. She's just like a wealth of knowledge, and
oh my God,
has such good perspectives on things that helps you kind of shift your mindset. So I just love her.
Yeah. Gosh. And I am so glad that she was made redundant. Yay.
Me too. I didn't know that though, that like the whole team got laid off. And could you imagine? I'd be like, fuck, I just manifested everybody losing their jobs.
I'm sure they're thanking her profusely.
Yeah, she did say everyone's good now. So.
Honestly, I can't wait to have her on again. She is just living her best life, and I can't wait to see where it takes her.
Yeah, I want to know what book 3 is about.
Oh my
Especially
gosh.
since it's about, she was talking about that French man, so.
He can go.
You know who you are, sir.
You know.
All right, so should I pull a little tarot real quick?
Yes, let's do our Trust Your Tarot for the week.
Oh man, this is bad. I'm like, you can hear how poorly I shuffle.
Jeez, Heidi, that sounds terrible.
I can't do the bridge. I try every time and I can't do it.
Should I put over an audio over it of the fake shuffling?
Yep. Ooh, okay, that was a flyer. It just flew out of there.
Ooh.
Oh, there's some more. Okay, here we go.
This is clear sign. Can't get any signier than that.
A signier sign. What is it? Oh, so the flyer is 6 of acorns, represented by the elk. It is success and triumph. We are about to succeed.
Wow.
Guys, we are charging forward. We are trailblazers. I mean, Vicky is the ultimate trailblazer. We are following in her footsteps. And then, of course, we get the 2 of acorns, which is represented by the hawk. All about insight and focus. We zero in on what we want and we get it. We go down, swoop down, and snatch it. And then 7 of feathers, cheetah. Shit's about to happen fast. Are you ready for it? Preparation and resourcefulness, but we are going after what we want. We are charging forward with success and triumph. We are zeroing in with our vision, and then we are making it happen immediately.
Heidi is in her zone right now.
I am properly chuffed.
I love it. Okay, well, everyone should please go follow her at the Manifestation Collective. And also, I know everyone else has their own stories too, their own stories of manifestation and intuition. Please, please send us a time when you believed the unbelievable. And so we can read it on our podcast and share it with everyone else so that you can inspire others to believe in themselves as well. Well, until next time, it's your move, sis.
Make it count.
Bye.